All right, so I was out here a couple days ago. Ooh, my hands are ashy. We're gonna hide those. Nope, I embrace my hands. We're gonna I was out here a couple days ago and I had to throw like 3 or 4 things. I think I picked up maybe like 2 crankbaits, didn't catch one on either one of those. And then I was throwing a lipless crank, and that's kind of been a, you know, sure enough way to catch fish, but didn't catch anything on the lipless. I was thinking, I was like, but backtrack. Didn't catch anything on the lipless, but I did have a few to chase the lipless and bump it. So then my mind automatically went to what the retrieve I was doing was a yo-yo retrieve, which is kind of like bring the bait up, let it fall slow. Bring the bait up, let it fall slow. Big brain moment by me. I was like, let's go try a jerkbait. I had to run up to the truck, get the jerkbaits out of the truck, throw a jerkbait, maybe like 4 or 5 cast in, boom. Then catch 5 real quick, boom, happy camper. So with that being said, before we talk about what we keep inside of our tackle box, I'm gonna go throw a jerkbait. Big balls of shad. Oh look, they're doing it. I see them already. Oh wow. Well, hopefully this will be as fun as I'm hoping it'll be. We have 2 jerkbaits tied on. This one right here, it's a Silverdala Stunna 112, and then this one, I'm pretty sure this color is called Hanky Panky. I think, I don't know. There's one of them called Hanky Panky, and sometimes I call multiple of them Hanky Panky because I think that's a funny name. But we got these 2, both pretty much the same thing. I just want to see which one will work better. I feel like this one might imitate the shad a little bit better. This one down at the bottom, the Silverdala. And also guys, as always, all the gear that I'm using today will be linked down below in the description if you need to pick yourself up some new gear, you're looking for a loved one or whoever for the holidays. All of it's linked down below, so feel free to check it out. Okay, so out here there's these, like, I guess they're ducks. I'm not really sure what you call them. It's either a duck or like some type of little bird, and they dive under the water and they come up like with shad in their mouth sometimes. And one just popped up right here, so that means there's probably bait, which if there's bait, more than likely there's probably bass. So. Hey, got one. He feels pretty good. I was sitting there watching those ducks. I guess that gave me the long paws, or those geese that gave me the paws I needed. Oh dude, you felt so much better than that. Hey, but I'm not hating though. There's our first bass. It's probably a whole bunch of them over there because there's a whole bunch of them blowing up. I had to do this to one earlier. I have no shame. Just see small bass and all these. There's 9 hook points down here just looking to find a finger to go into. So if it keeps my finger safe, I have no shame. Of course I dropped that in the net. All right, there's our first bass before we talk about what's inside of our tackle box on the jerkbait. Not a big one, but still fun. He felt big when he first ate it. If you couldn't tell by my, oh my gosh, it's a huge one. All right. Ooh. Let's see if we can't find a bigger one, see if we can upgrade. Hey, there we go. Maybe. Yeah, there's another one. This one feels good too, honestly. Oh, he's hung on something. Oh, got him off. Oh, there's a whole bunch of sticks right there. Oh, about the same size as that first one. All right, he only got the back hook. These 2 aren't really eating it as good as I'd like them to. But I mean, nonetheless, they're eating it. What you got? Look, let me help you. There you go. About the same size as that first one. Nothing too crazy, but hey, if they're over there schooling, it's fun. There we go. One ate it. Gosh, this one feels big too. But I don't want to say that because the past 2 have felt the exact same, but they weren't. Oh, they're going again. Did I keep fighting this one, or did I pick up that other jerkbait? We'll unhook this one quick. Oh my gosh, look at that. We're gonna unhook it quick. We're gonna do it quick. quick and safe. Oh, that's number 3. Boom. Oh, that's a nice one. It's not a bad one right there. I'll take him. The 2-pounder, didn't y'all say? Boom, jerkbait to the face. Oh! All right, it took me a little bit longer than I'd like to get that one up. And the fish aren't going crazy anymore. But hey, we got, what is that? What does that make, 3? Should we make a goal? Let's not do a goal. Our goal is to have fun. When you do a goal, I feel like that puts a damper on it. Wait, is that a fish? No. It's a rat or something. No. Got some grass. But we're supposed to talk about what's inside of a tackle bag. This is difficult. Do we keep fishing and just do that to say we'll do it tomorrow? We'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Hey, that's one. Yeah, that's bad. She's not moving. Oh, it came off. Was that a fish? I don't know if this will show any signs of one. I mean, that little bit of meat has been on there. We hooked a shad with this yesterday. All right, guys, so we have made it back off the water, and I'm gonna talk about what's inside of my tackle box. I was gonna do this out on the water, but I figured I might as well do it here at the house, because this is where all of my tackle days start, and I feel like that's the best way to show you guys what I keep inside of my tackle box by showing you my progression and what I like to take with me daily. So first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about my tackle corner, then we'll go and talk about each individual tackle box, and later this month we're gonna have a video come out about my rod and reel setup, or my rod and reel arsenal setup. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what I keep inside of my tackle box or tackle corner, and we'll go through everything that you see over here. I'll open up all the cabinets. Comment down below if you have some questions about anything. So let's get into it. So this right here is my tackle corner. Up top, I keep soft plastics. I have craws, buzzbait, trailers, generals, swim baits. This all the stuff that I use the most. We have lizards. Now when I think about it, there's probably only about 10 to 15 different actual physical plastic types that I throw a lot. So that's what I like to keep up here. And then also I have some Plano boxes down here that I like to keep some extra stuff in, or some stuff that I can just take with me. You know, if I want to throw generals one day, I can just grab the general box and I can just take it with me. It has all my different colors in it, and I can move stuff around. I can take stuff out of those. I can take stuff from up top, put it in one of my boxes, but we're gonna get into the boxes. So here's the overall tackle corner. In here, I keep extra tackle boxes and my fishing line. And I have all these edge boxes. I actually found a guy on Marketplace that was selling a whole bunch of these for cheap. So I bought like 6 of them off of one guy, and then I have a couple extra that I like to just throw extra random things in. I have some microfish and stuff down here, extra boxes to keep batteries, or, you know, if I have a buddy with me, extra worms, some handmade worms, all my different lines, 12-pound, 15, 17, 10-pound braid, 30-pound braid, 50-pound braid. And then back behind these boxes, I have extra small spools. So if you've watched one of my tackle unboxing videos in the past, you've seen some of those smaller spools of line. I like to keep those because they're just easy to throw in the corner of a tackle bag or a tackle box. It's a lot easier than carrying around a bigger spool like this. I don't have a boat, I have a kayak, but the kayak really, I have a lot of space, but it's kind of limited on space at the same time. So a lot of times it's just easier to throw in a 200-yard spool versus a 2,000-yard spool. But these spools are nice because I go a lot, so a lot of times I'll backlash a reel, or I'll have a reel that I just need to replace the line on just from going out a whole bunch. I try not to replace it because line is expensive. So yeah, let's talk about what we got. So I'm not gonna open any of these boxes because, except for this top water box right here, which we'll take that down, a lot of these boxes are empty. I like to keep empty boxes, and you're like, why do you need so many? Because a lot of times when I do day trips, or if I'm, going somewhere special, I might combine some baits out of one of these boxes, and these are the baits that are like, they house most of the tackle. So sometimes if I wanna combine some baits, I'll throw them in a box like this. This is just your regular 3700 size. I have some frit size, some chopos, some stunners, cold shad, and some frog hooks. So I think it's super beneficial to have it like this, just because I can put whatever I need to into these boxes and I don't have to worry about it. I know where it's at. And I can also, I don't have to take a full box of everything. You know, I might only want to take red and shad colored frit size, like what's in this box. So I just have that box with red and whatever colored frit size, and then I also have room to add money badgers or dimes or whatever type of cranks or whatever I feel like can fit in that box. Right here, I just have a whole bunch of, extra tack. When I first started off fishing, I bought a whole bunch of cheap lures just to kind of get me into it. There's nothing wrong with them, but I really don't throw them as much, but I want to keep them because sometimes I do go dig through those boxes because sometimes the cheap lures are the best ones to throw. So every now and then I'll pick out one of these boxes and I'll throw something out of them. I keep some extra 3700 size boxes because they fit. The 3700 size boxes just offer a little bit more room in the tackle box. So 2 of these takes up the same amount of space as one of the 3700 size boxes. So it's just easy to keep 2 or 3 of these. I have 3 of these that are empty right now. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this. We're gonna close this up. So now we're gonna talk about all of these boxes and everything you see up here. So every evening, normally I like to go ahead and get all my gear ready because normally I leave pretty early in the morning. So every evening I'll go ahead and go through all of these boxes. Most of the time I just grab a full box because I kind of know based on where I'm going what I should want to throw. And this is what I have to choose from every day. I have the best job in the world. I get to go fish every day, and that's how I make a living at 22 years old. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. Hopefully I'm able to do this forever for you guys. So we get to record our fishing adventures every day. If you don't know what I do, I go fish and I record my fishing excursions every day and sharing with you guys. So we're gonna start picking apart some of these boxes. I'll tell you how I store everything. I like to keep stuff together. So you might be looking at all these boxes and you're like, man, I don't think that you should take all these boxes with you every day. There's so many of them. Yeah, you are right. You would definitely be 100% right about that. So that's why we have this. This is the Yak Attack Black Pack Pro 13 by 16. And in here, when I don't have my tackle boxes in here, I keep a few soft plastic bags. Sometimes if I don't want to take a full box, I'll throw stuff in this bag. This is a 36 or 3700 size bag, so it'll also fit the tackle boxes, which is pretty nice. So if I'm going to go fish a pond with some buddies one afternoon or something like that, I can just throw everything in here and I don't have to take my full black pack. If I'm, you know, doing something from the bank, normally it's gonna be one of these bags, and I'll throw some extra soft plastics in this one as well. These little day bags right here, I'll have all this stuff linked down below in the description, but these little day bags right here are game changing. They're super game changing just because you don't have to have, you know, I like to travel light. There's nothing like fishing a pond bank and you have 3 or 4 rods, and then also you have, you know, a tackle backpack or a tackle bag. These things are just super easy to carry. There's a little carrying strap right here. You can just grab it and move however you need to move. Also, I keep my fish finder in here. It's just an easy place to store it. Got the Garmin 106 SB that I keep in here. This is my Yak Attack Black Pack Pro. This is what I take on the kayak with me every day, or if I'm going to, you know, fish a few different ponds in a day, I'll put all of my tackle boxes in here. And then this is kind of like my mobile tackle crate solution. So I'll put 3700 size boxes in here. It'll fit 6, roughly 7. The most I've probably ever fit in here is 8 with some of the 3600 size boxes, but that's normally more than enough for going and fishing a tournament or going bank fishing or whatever type of fishing I'm gonna do for the day. This box always is gonna be with me. And then it has 6 rod holders on the back side of the box. I have 4 in the back and then 1 on each side. And I mean, it's pretty much perfect. I really can't ask for much more for storing my fishing tackle. So that's my box, and that's how I normally get around. This thing normally stays in the truck with me every day. You can see it in most of my videos. It sits in the back of the kayak, sits in the truck, and this is how I keep all of my boxes organized and secure. So we're gonna put that back. So yeah, we're just gonna start opening up some of these boxes, and I'm gonna tell y'all what we got in them and, you know, why I keep what I got. This right here is that frit side box I showed you. It just has some extra frit size. This is really extra tackle. I probably put this box together for a day trip I was going on, and it's just frit sides, a Chapo Stunners, and a coal shad. That's not really an everyday use box. That's just kind of one of those boxes that gets you through a day. This is my top water box. I got Chapos, poppers, walking baits, some jaywalkers, surge shads, little like wake style baits, a little bit of everything in this box. This is a box that gets a lot of use over the summer. This is my bladed jig box. This box is filled with slobber knockers. You might say, Larry, why so many? Because one, I like to break these things off. When you skip them under docks, you really never know where they're going or what's underneath the dock. There could be a brush pile, there could be whatever. So I like to keep enough to where I don't have to buy more every time I get off the water. You know, I can go out for a month and lose 5 and I still have enough in this box, because a lot of times I like to buy my tackle at the beginning of the year and just hopefully have enough so I don't have to go tackle shop anymore, or I don't have to buy, I'll buy the little knickknacks that I might need, but a lot of times as far as like the big baits, I like to just have them so I don't have to go buy more, and it's just more convenient, so I can spend more time on the water and less time, you know, in Bass Pro and shopping, because those trips get expensive. I keep a spreadsheet on my iPad of like what I like to keep and what I don't have or what I'm losing. So I like to kind of inventory my stuff, just because this is like a business for me, so I kind of have to treat it like that. Sometimes it's a little involved, and sometimes, I know this sounds so weird, it's such a blessing and so weird, but I have to spend a lot of time, you know, looking at tackle, and I'm like, okay, if I want to go throw a jerkbait, or, you know, here recently they've been schooling on jerkbaits, or they've been schooling on shad in a lot of the ponds, so like I'll throw a lot of stunners, so I have to make sure that I have, you know, all the different colors. I don't need really but maybe 5 colors of each bait, and that's probably even a stretch, really 3, in like something like a stunner. But I like to keep, you know, a whole bunch of 112s that dive 4 to 6 feet. Then I need the 112 plus ones, which I don't have, which I need to get some more of, because this box is filled with just 112s. I have a few 112 plus ones, but I like the 3700 thin box for jerkbaits, just because jerkbaits are a smaller lure. I don't need a whole bunch of them, and I like to keep things that I don't need a whole bunch of. I like to use smaller boxes, just so I'm not like, oh, I can go buy 100 more stunners, and, you know, that's just a waste of money. And I'll spend more money on tackle than I need to sometimes. This is my crank box. These boxes that hold these crankbaits that Plano came out with, this is the most genius idea. They have this like gridlock system in them to where your treble hooks don't get caught up on each other. So if you want to pull one out, you just pull it out. Whatever you need, you know, if I want, see, of course it doesn't work right there. But I mean, it's better than pulling out 6 or 8 of them at the same time. You know, in your regular traditional tackle box, you pull out a crankbait and it's just like you pull all of them out and then you have to sort through them for 10 minutes. With this, you just pull out the one you want and you're good to go. You're ready to go. So this is my war pig box, lipless cranks. I keep rattle traps, war pigs, just all of my lipless cranks in here. And I don't have, it looks like a lot, but I don't have too many of them. I don't have colors that I don't need. I have red, shad patterns, bluegill patterns, and then just kind of like some, you know, clear water patterns. When they work, and they're really nice to have. This one right here, I caught a 5-pounder on in a video this month. So they're nice to have. There's just certain colors I like to explore with new colors, and then once I find one that I like, I buy 2 or 3 of them, just because eventually you're gonna break them off, and it's nice to have multiple, especially fishing like tournaments and whatnot. You never want to like run out of something that you know is gonna work or that has been working. All right, so next box, this is my jig box. Keep black and blue football head jigs. If you've been watching the channel for the past maybe 2-3 months, you know I've been breaking off the black and blue football jigs like nobody's business. My 15-pound fluoro in trees and whatnot. I don't retie as much as I should, so I need to start working on that. But it's my jig box. Pretty self-explanatory. Got all different types of jigs in here. All right, so yeah, that's the jig box. We're gonna go on to the next one. Probably shouldn't do that. All right, so next we got the frit side box. This is probably my all-time favorite crankbait, so I have a lot of them. Also, I'm coming up on, this is gonna be year 4, like 3.5, 4 of me doing fishing videos full time. So I have a lot of these just because I really, really like them. These are my red frit sides, and they are, this is a day sayer crankbait right here. If you need a crankbait that you can go out and catch some fish on, and like know you're gonna catch fish on, and you're not catching them on anything else, especially in cold water, but like really year round, this is a killer of a bait. Year round, people say only fishing when it's cold sometimes, but I like them year round. You gotta have the red, you gotta have the bluegill pattern. Those are the 2 that are really been like staples for me. I like the frit side 5, the big and not the small fry, not the small 5. So yeah, these are always nice to have. Frit sides, all 3700 boxes so far. Also, that jig box was a 3700 jig box, which I'll have linked down below in the description. These are a new crankbait from Berkeley. This is the Berkeley Dime. I like to keep these in chartreuse, shad, red, and as you see, that's pretty much the only colors I need, because that's what works here in Alabama for me. I don't really like to, I'll explore with new colors here and there. If I see something that looks funky, like you'll see in this Money Badger box, I'll pull out a couple that kind of look, you know, a little funky in there. But I really like this box. Over the summer, these dimes really, really worked well for me at a couple lakes. Like I was catching 2 fish on one. I was catching 2 fish at the same time on some of them, and those dimes got pretty crazy for me sometimes. All right, so this is the Money Badger box. These came out last year. I really like these as well. These are cool because one thing I always like to say with these, they're a smaller profile, but like if you look at this bait versus a dime, and we'll just pull one out that's roughly the same size. So this is a Money Badger 5 and a dime 4. This one dives 4 to 6 feet, and this one dives 10 feet on 12-pound or 10-pound fluoro. So that's pretty big. That's a pretty big difference. And sometimes, you know, they won't eat this bait, but they'll eat this one just because it gets deeper. And I feel like those bigger fish are like, hey, this little bitty bait doesn't have any place being down here among, you know, the big dogs. So we got to make sure that doesn't happen again, and they'll pick it off. This is the A-rig box. Y'all saw this in a recent video. These are pretty self-explanatory. Not only is this the A-rig box, this is a plain old flex box. So a lot of times if I'm gonna be combining frogs, spinnerbaits, crankbaits, and whatnot in the same box, you know, when I went to Guntersville a couple months ago, I took one of these boxes and literally I threw one box with spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, frogs, and I wanna say maybe like lipless cranks. I put them all in one of these boxes and I just went fishing with that box. So these flex boxes are pretty cool because they come with these dividers. You get a pack of dividers with your box and you can design this box however you want to. So if I want to take these out and I want to move them over, or I can, there's not one that stretches where you can have like 3 compartments this way, but you can have, you know, as many compartments as you want to this way. So you get 4 space dividers, 3 spaces, 2 spaces, and 1 spaces. So I could put like a 3 space divider in between these and then have like and I could have 2 separate sections of lures right here. So that's pretty clutch. And then in my A-rig box, I like to just keep your basic swim baits, and then I'll keep more swivels to go on the end that connect to the head, and then I have heads somewhere in here. I don't know where they're at. Up over here. I keep extra heads. So I have 4 A-rigs in here, and I like to just keep the extra components that go with them, just because sometimes if you get it hung up, you'll bend a swivel out or whatever. So it's just nice to have extra so I don't have to pull off of an A-rig that's already put together, just in case I break off a full A-rig and just grab another. You can set up one of these boxes for like 50 bucks. It's not on the cheap end, but also it's not the most expensive thing in the world. And like A-rig fishing's a lot of fun. So if you're able to, you know, you have to build them out slowly. Don't go and just try to build any of these boxes that you've seen like in a day, because there's a good amount of tackle here. So I think the thing is, you know, if you're living with your parents and they buy you tackle, you know, just ask them every time you go into the store. Because my mom, she fueled my fishing addiction. We used to go to Dick's and there were these 10 off 50 coupons. She would have like $38 and I would have, you know, $12 to spend, but I'd always end with like $30 or $40. Shout out to you, Mom, if you're watching this. She would always hook me up with fishing tackle. So last but not least, as far as tackle boxes go, with lures or with like hard baits, this is a big swim bait box. I have coal shads in here, bull shads. These are super sweet if you ever get the opportunity to throw one of these. They're not cheap, but when you catch one on it, it's probably gonna be a good one, and they're a lot of fun because fish hammer them if they're willing to eat them. Got a little bluegill pattern. Shad and bluegill are really the only 2 you need. Got the new Nessie. I've broken off so many fish with these. Like, I get such big bites, but I haven't been able to land one with it. I don't spend too much time throwing it, but when I throw it, I always get like a follow or something cool happens with it. We have 2 extra boxes. This is my terminal box. This is what I was saying about if I don't have a 37, or if I don't want to take a 3700 box because those just take up a lot of room, I'll take this one. This one is a 3600 size, and I keep this one because it can fit beside me in the kayak. So a lot of times if you're throwing something that you need terminal tackle for, that's what I'm doing for the day. So like if I'm throwing a Texas rig or whatever, I'm throwing a general, I'm throwing a crawl, a jig, or maybe not a jig, but you know what I'm saying, an underspin. This box is what I'm relying on for the day. So it's a lot easier just to keep beside me, and this smaller box is pretty clutch to have. Last tackle box, even though I said that 5 minutes ago, last tackle box we have is our swim jig box. This is something I really don't do too much of, but I have them, and it's one of those things that it's a good application to have, you know, fishing these along grass or whatever. I have places that these are good baits. I've caught big fish on them. My biggest fish on a swim jig is a 5.4, but I never throw it. That was probably my first or second time throwing a swim jig. It's definitely something, I keep a big box of them because I'll take it with me. Sometimes I'll tie one on and I'll throw it a little bit. And as I travel and fish more tournaments next year, I know I'll probably need to be able to be a little bit more comfortable than what I am currently with throwing those. So just kind of like, you know, I'm not gonna learn it if I don't have any of them. So this is a new box. This is a box I was super excited to get this year. This is the Plano Edge frog box. I keep all my swamp lures and just the frogs I've collected over the years in here. We got popping frogs, we got walking frogs, and how this box works, it's pretty cool. You just pop out your, you know, whatever you want to use for the day, or like whatever frog you want, and boom, you just pull it out. So this is one of the first swamp lures I got, and got quite a few bites on it. Yeah, so frog fishing is a lot of fun, and I have a whole bunch of them, and I need to get some more teeth marks on a lot of these frogs, because they're one of those lures that I always get for like a challenge or something like that. You catch one fish on it, and you just kind of put it in the back of the box. So I don't have a whole bunch of frogs, but I have enough to cover all of the different bases of water clarities and everything that I'll be fishing. So that's the frog box. The next box we got is this is a spinnerbait box, but it also doubles as my buzzbait box. So I have all the a few different colors of like the new Berkeley spinnerbaits. Got all different colors of these. These are really cool. Most of them are 3/8 ounce. I like 3/8 ounce for most of my stuff, including like slobber knockers. Then also I have a few that are not 3/8 ounce. They are 1/2 ounce for like windy days, or if I just want a bigger presentation, need something that's gonna sink a little bit faster. These are also spinnerbait. And then also I have a few buzz baits in here. These are the buzz baits I really like to throw. If I have the option to throw anything, I'm throwing this one right here, just because I like them without a skirt. It seems like this naked buzz bait just gets slurped by the big bass. So it's a Buzzum Speed Toad I like to throw. This is my go-to buzz bait trailer. So this is a plastics box. These are all the same. They're just the Plano big plastic boxes. These don't ever go in the black pack. They just sit beside it in the truck, and normally I'll just take what I need out of here. So this one I keep chigger crawls and flukes in. This is kind of like a runover box. A lot of my baits I had hanging up, but as I start to pull them off and everything, like I'm going up there every day. I'm tall enough to reach it, but it's a lot easier if I use like a ladder or a chair. So I just put everything that I really use, like most of the time, in these boxes, and then some of the stuff that I like to have but I don't use all of the time, I keep up there. So that's like trailers, because normally you're not gonna go through more than a pack of trailers a day. So I like to keep like Swimbait style trailers or whatever in there. This next one is another one of my favorite boxes. I keep power worms and just the regular power bait generals in here. So I have like some black and blue power worms. These things in the summertime, I feel like these are a hack. I've hooked so many big fish with one of these big worms. And it's one of those things, like, you hear people talk about it, but they're kind of, I will say they're kind of intimidating to throw, because, you know, if you're used to throwing a little 5-inch general or 5-inch Senko, you're like, there's no way a fish will eat one of these. I mean, in tournaments on big lakes, like, you pick up one of these, and I like the one that's watermelon with the chartreuse tail, which I probably have a few of them somewhere in here. Let's pull it out and show it to you while we're here. The watermelon with the chartreuse tail, I'm telling y'all, is a absolute cheat code. So this worm right here, I mean, ponds, lakes, rivers, this is one of those summertime applications. When it gets tied on, it's tied on every time I go out for a 4 or 5 month span, until I just feel like it's not gonna work anymore. So, I mean, these things, I've gotten so many big bites on these. It doesn't make sense. It's just one of those things, like a big bait does catch a big fish. And I think it's just something about that chartreuse tail and that color just being like a natural color with that half natural, half chartreuse. It gets them fired up. And then over here I just keep generals. That's a general in that same color as that big worm. Normally when I throw generals, I like the power bait, but these are nice to have because these have a few different colors that the regular general isn't featured in. So this box is filled to the brim. This is Ned rigs, so like little generals, crawls, so like my max scent crawls, normally what I use for, I don't really Texas rig them, normally I'll put them on the back of a jig. And then I have black and blue generals, baby bass colored generals, and also I'll keep like a watermelon style color and June bug. So really I only throw like 4 color general. If I get, you know, if I feel inspired to buy another color, I'll buy another one. But you know, fishing lures, I feel like sometimes they can get overcomplicated, and if there's a color that I need, I'll just get it while I'm there, you know, if I'm on the road traveling to fish somewhere. So yeah, that's that. We got the little generals and crawls in there, and that's it. So that's all of our Plano Edge boxes that we like to keep and travel with. I have one more. This is a specialty box. So actually I have 2 more. This one I literally just got in the mail 2 weeks ago, and I got it for a very specific purpose. So next year I have 29 tournaments that are on my list. I have 7 national and 22 that are in the state of Alabama. So with that comes a lot of traveling. So with being on the road, I figured that this would be a nice investment. So this is a reel box. It'll fit, ooh, I have some reels in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 reels. Roughly, probably about 8 or so when it's actually filled up. But just going on the road and having like gear that I want to make sure that it's protected on the road, I feel like this is probably the best way to protect it. And having one of these hard tackle boxes, and then also I have one of the rod tubes, so I can just put socks on all the rods, take all the reels off, and I'll just assemble them whenever I get to wherever I'm going, because all that gear in the front seat or bed of the truck, one, so I can, you know, if I'm staying in a hotel, Airbnb, I can take this in, I don't have to worry about it getting stolen out of the truck. And then also just having all of this is, or having everything in this box has it all in one place, and I know where, you know, all of my stuff is, and I can take extras. You know, I'll probably only have 6 to 8 rods with me in the kayak, and I can have a few extras just in case I backlash one or whatever. We balled out. We got the guide series. This reel case is also the guide series, but we got the guide series 3600 box. So this box has 3 tackle compartments, or 4 tackle compartments. It has this front one for your pliers. I have a pack of elastic baits in there because I'm sure anybody in the world that does any type of saltwater fishing, that's what everybody recommends, just because you catch 10 fish on it, it's not, you know, just ripped to pieces. You can still fish with it. Got a little side pocket right here, extra line, whatever, you know, needs to go in there, fishing license, scissors, whatever. Then got another same thing over here. Got a little flap in the back. So it actually has 5 compartments. And then we got a carrying strap. Has the drop zone on the top, so you can drop your pliers, whatever that's magnetic, lures, and drop them right here. And then I got another tackle box. Have a couple baits. I'm not sure if I'll use these little shrimp style or these mirror lures, but I know these are like, this is like Zoom of saltwater fishing, I'm pretty sure. And then got a box of jig heads, so I'll probably just fish with a whole bunch of white swim baits, because those are good for everything, and then it'll be December, so I'm not sure if it'll be like sight fishing how it normally is, or I don't know what to expect, but I know a white swim bait I can't go wrong with. So we have a whole bunch of white swim baits in here, have a whole bunch of, you know, just saltwater gulp lures, got some chartreuse tails. I got loaded up in this box. This is another one of those soft plastic boxes. So I'm so excited for this trip. Y'all have no idea. Whether I catch a fish or not, I'm just excited to be able to go out and try something new, do like a little self-guided tour. It'll be the middle of Louisiana duck season, so that'll be super interesting, sharing the marsh with a whole bunch of Louisiana duck hunters. So with that being said, guys, that is my full tackle setup. That's how I rig everything. That is like my rigging process every day. I talked a little bit about everything. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to fish hard and have a good day. If you have any questions about any of this stuff or comments or whatever, leave them down below and I'll get back to you with a timely response. So with that being said, thank you for watching. See y'all on the next one.
Chasing a bag, I'm racing the clock. Look at them block, watching them flop. Used to see this in my sleep. When I ain't had shit on my thoughts in the car, I really was lost. Now I'm public with the soundscapes.